Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Southern Division. We have been discussing the overviews of Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhicāri Bhav. And up till now, we have discussed overviews of Vibhav, Anubhav, and Satviki Bhav, Satvika Bhav. And we are in the discussion of the overview of the Vyabhicāri Bhav. Within the overview of the Vyabhicāri Bhav, we first saw the definition and we just listed the 33 Vyabhicāri Bhavs. And examples of the 33 Vyabhicāri Bhavs from different causes. Yes, this we only saw one example. And for different causes, there are each scriptural proofs, which we did not look into it because this is an overview. That is like the 70% of this section of the Vyabhicāri Bhav. We saw around 180 verses or 175 verses speak about this. So we only saw one example of Nirveda there. And then, what are the causes and effects of Vyabhicāri Bhavs? How one becomes the cause and the other becomes effect, Vibhav, and effects can be Anubhavs, like that. And in the last class, if you remember, we discussed the types of Vyabhicāri Bhavs. There is Paratantra, dependent on Rati, which is superior, Vara, which can be either in primary or secondary, Sakshat or Vyavahita. And then there is Avara, inferior, caused by Rati, not related to Krishna in a devotee. And then Swatantra is indirect relation to Rati in devotees. And in that we saw Rati Shunya, Rati Anusparshana, and Rati Gandha. So I will not again discuss this because we have discussed this in the last class. Now there are only two more topics remaining to be discussed. One is the Vyabhicāri Abhas, in which there is Pratikul and Anochitya in objects incapable of rasa, that is asatya in plants, ayogya in animals, and stages of Vyabhicāri Bhav, how the Vyabhicāri Bhav appears, how it mixes, how it conflicts, and how it disappears. And then the varieties of mind which affect the strength of the Vyabhicāri Bhavs. So in another two classes, we will finish this. And today we will take up the Vyabhicāri Abhas, which is causes and effects we have seen, types of Vyabhicāri Bhav we have seen, then Swatantra and Paratantra we have seen, now Vyabhicāri Abhas. So this is where we will discuss today, Pratikul, in hostile persons. So this is again, yeah, this is the portion which we are going to study today. Okay, so this is just a chart which shows there are two divisions in this. One is pratikula in hostile persons, and one is anuchitya in objects incapable of rasa, that is in plants and in animals, asatya and ayogi. So let us first see the pratikul. 24, 224. Abhasa punaretesam astena vrittito bhavet pratikulam anuchityam asthanatvam dvedottama. When these Vyabhicāri bhavs manifest improperly in unqualified persons, asthane vrittito bhavet, they are actually semblance or abhas of Vyabhicāri bhavs. Abhasa punaretesham. And there are two types of inappropriateness. Astanatvam, dvida, uditam. Dvida means two. Uditam means it is said. Appearing in persons hostile to Krishna, pratikulam, and being improperly credited, anuchitam, improperly credited. Okay, first, tatra pratikulam. Definition we'll come to know. Unfavorable Vyabhicāri bhavavas, pratikulam. When the bhavas are present in those hostile to Krishna, vipakshe vrittir etesham pratikula iti rete. They are called pratikul, unfavorable. Etesham pratikulam iti rete. Now, we know that there are sattviki bhavas, and within there is abhas. You know, just it reflects, hairs might stand on end in Krishna's enemies also. But this doesn't mean that they are experiencing Ashta Sattviki bhavs, because I think that the term used was prateep, that these Ashta Sattviki vikars which manifest in the enemies of Krishna. So similarly, now Vyabhicāri bhavs also. Yes, it is there. This is similar to Sattvic bhavs appearing in the enemies of Krishna, which is called prateep. So this is what exactly it is. Even the Vyabhicāri bhavs, which appear in the enemies of Krishna, will be called as pratikulam. Let's take this example. It becomes very clear to understand. An example, yata, hostile manifestation of self-deprecation. Now we saw there was nirveda, self-deprecation, also as a Vyabhicāri bhav discussed. But these are devotees who are in relation to Krishna. They have a stahi bhav of sakya, vatsalya, or madhurya, and they are experiencing this emotion of Vyabhicāri bhav. So that is actually a Vyabhicāri bhav. But this same self-deprecation or nirveda, when it is experienced by those who don't have stahi bhav in relation to Krishna, that is the enemies of Krishna, then although they experience this emotion of Vyabhicāri bhav, that is a self-deprecation, nirveda, still it cannot be called as a Vyabhicāri bhav, because they don't actually have stahi bhav. Because it's only stahi bhav in combination with all other bhavas gives rise to rasa. So that is why this is abhas. This is abhas, and within abhas, pratikul, those hostile in Krishna, hostile to Krishna. When the cowherds boys go appear without training, ashikshita ranopi, killed Hanti, the horse demon, tam ashva daitam, who was by very life and soul, mama jivita nirvishesham. What is the need for me? May Hanta, the unfortunate king Kamsa, Durjivitena Hata Kamsa Naradipasya, who defeated Indra as play, Krida Vinirjita, Suradipater, to maintain my life, Alamme. So this self-deprecation now you can see is being expressed by Kamsa. It is being expressed by Kamsa because Krishna, this cowherd boy, has killed, the Keshi demon. He has killed the Keshi demon. And Keshi was very dear to, was the most formidable, powerful demons of Kamsa. And he's feeling now nirveda, self-deprecation. Now, this is an emotion, Vyabhicāri bhav, which is expressed, which is manifesting in Kamsa, who is pratikul, he's hostile to Krishna. So, although it is a Vyabhicāri bhav, it is not exactly a Vyabhicāri bhav, it is abhas. That's the point. So, Prabhupada mentions when the Keshi demon was assassinated by Krishna, Kamsa became hopeless. He said, Keshidait was as dear to me as my own life, but he has been killed by some cowherd boy who's crude, uneducated, and ignorant in fighting. Even though I have defeated the king of heaven without difficulty, still I do not know the value of life. So these emotions which he's experiencing, this is hopelessness. Prabhupada says, nirvail. Because his hopelessness has a slight touch of attraction to Krishna, it is considered to be a reflection of the ecstatic love in hopelessness. Abhas. And within Abhas, pratikul, hostile. Okay, I hope this example is very clear. Let's go to the next one. Another example of hostile manifestation concerning envy. Oh, foolish Akrura, Yen Murka, this Kali is only a harmless water snake. Dumdubo, Jalachara, Sir Kalio. Govardhan mountain is a lump of earth. Goshta Bhubrit, Api Lostra, Sodara. You are attributing the title of controller of the universe, Jagat Ishwarete, to a person, Jani, who has just controlled a harmless snake and lifted a pile of earth. Tatra karma kim ivadbhutam. So you see, Kamsa is also telling, Akrura, that, Krishna, subdued the Kaliya and, lifted, how such for such. Kaliya just a harmless water snake. This is his estimation about Kaliya. And Govardhan is just lump of earth. So he is expressing his envy, atra anusuyaya, envy towards Krishna. Prabhupada, Kamsa once rebuked Akrura boss by saying, "You're such a fool that you're accepting a cowherd boy as a supreme personality godhead simply because he has defeated some half harmless water snake. The boy may have lifted one pebble called Govardhan Hill, but what is more surprising than that is your statement that this boy is the personality of Godhead." So this is the statement made by Kamsa to Akrura. Okay, so I hope these examples. This is an instance of a maliciously opposing element caused by hopelessness in ecstatic love for Krishna. Again, it is pratikul. You have to clearly understand that. You have to clearly understand that this is pratikul. This is pratikul. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Anuchita. Anauchita. Incapable of, an objects incapable of rasa. There are two types of inappropriateness. Anuchitam dvida bhavet, non-existent, asatya, asatyatam, and unqualified, ayogyatam. Non-existence means attributing Vyabhicāri bhavs to inanimate objects which cannot have emotions. Apranina bhavet adya. Unqualified means attributing the bhavas to animals which are unqualified for higher emotions. Tiryag adishu chantimam. So here there is two asatyam, ayogyatvam, and asatyam is non-existent. That means inanimates like stones, like that, and trees also in one sense, and then there is animals who cannot experience higher emotions. You attribute the Vyabhicāri bhavs. Anuchita means unsuitability. That's what. In this description of unsuitability, the bhavas do not really exist, and thus all are really called asatya, non-existent. No, they are unsuitable for bhavas to be experienced. So, in one sense, They don't exist, and that's why they are called as asatya, non-exist. However, the two types are distinguished in order to analyze unsuitably in detail. So if they are not existing in, the stones or trees or in the animals, then why discuss it? It is discussed to analyze unsuitability in detail. Just to analyze unsuitability in detail, that is why um, it is being discussed. There is no existence of pride or other Vyabhicāri bhavs in animals or inanimate objects. However, because the animals have life among the animals, some may have the possibility of the bhavas, some may have. Thus, they are distinguished as superior to the non-moving objects like tree, stalachara and tiryak. So stavar and tiryak. Stalachar, jalachar, and stalachar is moving on earth, and stavar is non-moving. So there is analysis to distinguish how they are superior to trees. Okay, let's see the examples that will become clear. Tatra apranini yata. Self-deprecation in trees. My life is useless. Who is saying? The tree. Hantame janma dig astu. Since Krishna is not enjoyed, Krishnena tasya na upasevita bhut. The shade of my branches, yasya chaya. Even one sakradapi. O Kadamba tree, Kadam, do not lament. Mam tab viduro bhava. You will attain success in life. Charit arthatam te, when Krishna, Haris, jumps from your branches to punish Kaliya. Kaliyahim vridhan karishyati. So the tree is lamenting, and one of the cowherd boy is, assuring the tree, don't lament, you know, don't self-deprecate yourself like this, you know. So this is what one devotee tried to console a Kadamba tree when the tree was lamenting because Krishna had not touched even its shadow. So this is a Vyabhicāri bhav, if you see one sense, the tree exhibiting. The devotee said, my dear Kadamba tree, do not be worried. Just after defeating the Kaliya snake in the Yamuna River, Krishna will come and satisfy your desire. This is the instance of inappropriate hopelessness in ecstatic love for Krishna. It is inappropriate, anuchitam, and within the category of uh, asatya. Tiraschi yatha, pride in animals. A peacock speaks, I am very pure. Adhirohato kaksham. What bird, ka pakshi, is there to compare with me? Aparo, mamadhya, medasya, giving up Garuda, Hitva, Tarkshak Paksham. The Lord enjoys my feather on his head. Bhajate Paksham Hariryasya. So the animal is glorifying him out of pride. Garuda, the eagle, the carrier of Vishnu, once said, who can be more pure than I? Where is there a second bird like me, so able and competent? Krishna may not like me. He may not wish to join my party, but still he has to take advantage of my wings. So Garuda was, speaking this. This is an instance of hopelessness in the neutral mood of ecstatic love. So a peacock speaks is here. And the Garuda, the eagle of bird, the carrier of Vishnu, once said. So Prabhupada is saying about Garuda. Prabhupada is giving the example of the Garuda who is speaking out of pride. But here, Rupa Goswami gives the example of the peacock. On his head. Krishna wears a peacock feather on his head, and Krishna is carried by Garuda. So Garuda is having that pride. Okay. Now, further, Rupa Goswami clarifies why, these, although the tree is experiencing these emotions of self-deprecation, and the animals are showing this pride. But now Rupa Goswami in few of the verses clarifies consciousness, sada, discrimination, gyan, and the experience of sweetness described. Vigyan madhurim vahamanishwapi. In the kadamba tree and other objects, kadambadishu, should be understood to be only a semblance of those items. Abhasatam uchate, because they have only consciousness without discriminating powers. Samanya drishtya. So this is the reason that their consciousness, there is consciousness in the trees, there is consciousness in them, but the discriminating powers is not there. That is why it is a semblance, and abhas vyabhicāri bhav it is, and within that anuchitam. Now further commentary by Jiva Goswami on this. Consciousness jnanam is certainly present in trees and other objects, and even a little higher understanding, Vijnanam. So Prabhupada said even trees have intelligence, and Prabhupada is to give example of how a tree, when it is growing up, and he sees some obstacle or obstruction, then it can change its direction. And I have seen this, I've seen this, or it can take support so that it can grow. So that intelligence is there. The little higher understanding is there. Though they have awareness as if they were humans, that will disappear in them in order to conceal from them the confidential pastimes. In some places, they are described as having emotions, but this should be taken only as only a judge, not with discriminating powers. So, they have emotions also, but no discriminating powers. So, emotions which are guided by the intelligence, you know, discriminating powers, those emotions which are manifested to a certain degree, Rup Goswami is clarifying, Jiva Goswami is clarifying in the commentary. Okay, now he is giving the quotation. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the gopis, gopya, cows, gavo, unmoving creatures such as the twin Arjuna trees, naga, animals, mriga, living entities with stunted consciousness such as the bushes and the thickets, ye anya mooda dhiyo, and snakes such as Kaliya Naga, all achieved perfection of life, Siddha by unalloyed love for me, Kevalam hi bhavena, and thus very easily achieve me, Mam Iur Anjasa. So this is from the 11th canto. Thus, in Samanya Drishtya means that they have consciousness without discriminating powers. So all have consciousness but without discriminating powers. So that completes the discussion on the Abhas Vyabhicāri Bhavs. So any questions you have on this? Any clarifications? On Abhas Vyabhicāri Bhav? Okay, so now there's one more small topic which we have to discuss, the stages of Vyabhicāri Bhav. The stages of Vyabhicāri Bhav. Now we have got an understanding now that Vyabhicāri Bhav is a transient emotion which rises in the ocean of the Bhakti Rasa, just like a tsunami wave. There is Stahi Bhav of Vatsalya Ras, but that Stahi Bhav rises to a height. And that emotions are what are Vyabhicāri Bhavs. And then after rising, it again falls back in the ocean, and it settles back in the Sahi Bhav. So just like a wave, it rises and it goes to a height, and then slowly it comes down. So similarly, there are these Vyabhicāri bhavs which appear, they mix, there is conflict, and then there is disappearance. So I've given this, these are the four stages: appearance, mixing, conflict, and then disappearance. So here, this is the picture, like this is the ocean, which is having Stahi Bhav or Vatsalya or whatever it is. And then there is the Vyabhicāri Bhav, which rises. And then different emotions get mixed up. And then slowly the wave will come down. So there is the appearance, there is the mixing of emotions, different emotions, and then there is conflicts, Sabhalya it is called, and then there is disappearance. So how this happens, this is what Rupa Goswami is going to discuss. Bhavanam kvachit utpatti sandhi sabhalya shantaya dashastra chatastra etesham utpattishtva iha sambhava. Sometimes kvachit, four stages are seen: dasha chatastra, in the manifestation of Vyabhicāri bhavs. Etesham bhavanam, appearance, utpatti; conjunction, sandhi, conflict, shabhalya; and then disappearance, shantaya. Appearance, utpatti, means the initial manifestation of the Vyabhicāri bhav. Utpatti is to iva sambhava. So here in this verse, Rupa Goswami has mentioned these four stages it goes through, and he has defined Utpatti. Utpatti means appearance. It is the initial manifestation of the Vyabhicāri Bhava. Prabhupada, the symptoms of ecstatic love are sometimes grouped under four headings, namely generation, conjunction, aggression, and satisfaction. So Prabhupada uses these terms. You know? Okay, let's see the example and then it'll become clear. Appearance of harsha. Atra harsha utpatti. Utpatti means, see, the emotion of harsha is there, but it has to get generated. So how it gets generated, this emotion of harsha, what are the factors which work in generation of this emotion of harsha? It has to rise in the ocean of the Stahi Bhav. When the sun turned red, Lohita Ati, and Yashoda heard, Yashoda Nishamya, the sound of the flute close by. Vaini Vim Dhwani Duram Avidure. Her bodies became damp with the flow of milk from her breast. Prashrava Smite Kanchuli Kasit. So Krishna is about to come back. The sun has turned red because it's of sunset time. This is the first, what is the sun turning red actually? What is it in terms of the components of rasa? Anyone can tell what it is in the which component of rasa it is? Yes, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji,
Okay,
I'll
one
try.
second.
Like it's actually sunset.
Audio.
It's the
Yeah.
Uddipana.
One. Okay, speaker I have to put. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'll try. Is it sunset and it
Uh,
is a Uddipana?
some reason my uh, microphone is this. Yeah. Now.
Sunset as Uddipana.
Sunset as Uddipana. Excellent. Very, very good. And it is part of what? Vibhav or Anubhav or Satvika or Uddipana?
Anubhav.
Anubhav. No. It's not Anubhav. It is Vibhav. Within Vibhav, there is two divisions. Vishay, Ashray. The Alamban can be Vishay Alamban, Ashalamban, and Uddipans. So it is part of not Anubhav. Anubhav are voluntary actions, emotions which follow the Vibhav. That is called as Anubhav. So this is actually Uddipan is correct, but within Vibhav. So when Mother Yashoda saw the sun turn red and heard the flute, heard the flute, so then, her body became damp with the flow of milk from her breast. Ata Sandhi. So the Vatsalya, emotion got to an height. And that's why she experienced it. Now, Sandhi is mixing. When two versions of same bhavas, Swarupayor. Swarupayor means same bhavas. Please remember, Sandhi. Sandhi means mixing. Or two differing bhavas, Bhinnayorva. Mix, it is called Bhava Sandhi. Sandhi, Swad, Syad, Bhavayor, Murti. Now, these Vyabhicāri bhavs, we know these are like different emotions which rise in the ocean of Stahi bhav. Now, when there are different Vyabhicāri bhavs which are rising, like different colors, the rainbow colors are there, right? There are different colors. So different bhavas rise like different colors. So there is mixing of these Vyabhicāri bhavs. So that is what is called as Sandhi. And this Sandhi can be of same bhavas or differing bhavas. Same bhavas means two same emotions can rise or two different emotions can rise, differing bhavas. So let's see this and try to understand this. Tatra Swarupayo Sandhi. When the same Vyabhichari bhavas arise from two different causes, Bhinna Hetoyor Mata, and joins Sandhi, it is called Sarup Sandhi. So please remember, there are the same Vyabhichari bhavas, but they are coming from two different causes and they join. Then it is Sarup Sandhi. Let's take the example, it will become clear. Jad caused by favorable and unfavorable circumstances. So Jad is a Vyabhichari bhav. It is caused by two different things, one favorable, one unfavorable. So that is two different causes for Jad. The Vyabhichari bhav of Jad is from two different causes. In the evening, Nishi, the dead Demoness lay on the earth, Rakshasim Nishante, and your son Sutamcha was sitting on a breast laughing. Tad Kuchopari Hasantam. When Yashoda Gokulesh Grahani heard this, Nishamya Patitangim, for some time, Shanam, she remained motionless. Hanta Nishchala Tanu Asit. So here, Mother Yashoda, she remained suddenly motionless because of the motionless is the Jad, because of two causes, favorable and unfavorable. What is favorable? Because his son is safe. Unfavorable, Putana has died. That also has caused a shock for her, and she's dead. So Jiva Goswami makes it clear. She remained motionless because of the sight of the demoness. So that was a cause for Jad. And because of affection for Krishna, her affection for Krishna is also two causes are there here. And both these uh, causes have having the same emotion, and that emotion is Jad. This Jad emotion is coming from two different causes. So that is why it is called as Sarup Sandhi. This is an event from a dream as previously described or a story related in Harivamsha. One night after the Putana demon had been killed, the baby Krishna could be seen playing on her breast. Upon seeing this, Yashoda became stunned for some time. This is an example of conjunction of various symptoms of ecstatic love. Of course, Prabhupada doesn't go into the detail how these are coming from two different causes, but I'm sure it is clear here from the commentary of Jiva Goswami. This is a okay, Prabhupada has made it clear, sorry. This conjunction can be auspicious or inauspicious. That the Putana demon had been killed was auspicious, but that Krishna was playing on a breast in the dead of the night or with no one to help him in case of trouble was inauspicious. So that's also caused Jad for her. This also caused Jad. Yashoda was caught between auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. Okay. I hope Swarup, Bhinna. Bhinna, na? It is Swarupa Sandhi is clear, you know. Now, Swarup Sandhi. Now we will go to Bhinnayo. When two differing Vyabhicāri bhavs arise from the same or differing cause joined together. So there was, in the previous example you saw, the Vyabhicāri bhav was the same, Jad, caused from two different causes. But here the Bhinna definition is there are two different Vyabhicāri bhavs, emotions which are coming, and they are arising from either the same or different cause. It can be same or different. Then it is Bhinna Bhava Sandhi. Okay, let's see the example. Two differing bhavas arising from one source. So if it is arising either from one source or two different sources, then also it is a Bhinna Bhava Sandhi. So let's see from two differing bhavas arising from one source. This child is very fickle. Durvara Chapalo M. Shishnur. He constantly runs inside Dhavanantar. And now it's sort of Gokul Bhaishya Goshtasya. His fearlessness, Akutaschit Bhitir, causes me both joy, Harsha, Dhinoti Hridam me, and apprehension, Shanka, Dhunoti cha. Dhunoti. Okay. Shanka is Dhunoti. Okay, here it should just come twice here. Yes. So you can see the two bhavas are experienced. One is Harsha and other is Shanka, apprehension. And these two emotions are coming from whom? What is the source? Anyone? Let us see. Who will answer this? This is coming from where it is coming from? Who will answer this? Where it is coming from? What is the source of it? What is the cause of this emotion? Anyone? Who will answer this? Ashokatma Prabhuji. Are you there?
Hare Krishna, sorry Prabhu, I could not.
You could not understand the question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. See, here Krishna as a child is playing and he's going inside the house, outside the house. So Mother Yashoda is fearing, seeing how he's fearlessly going, it's causing her the emotion of harsha, joy. And also there is Shanka. She has fear for her. So there are two different emotions she's experiencing. So my question is, it should be coming from one source. Which is that source coming from? Which is that one source?
Vatsalya Bhav
Yeah, Vatsalya towards whom?
towards Krishna.
Yeah, so the source is coming from Krishna.
Yeah.
So when there is, you have to understand the definitions very clearly. When two different Vyabhicāri bhavs arising from same or different cause. So the cause here is Krishna. And the two different emotions are the Harsha and the Shanka. Okay, let's now go to Prabhupada. After Krishna had just learned to walk, he was going in and out of the house very frequently. Yashoda became surprised and said, "This child is so restless and cannot be controlled. He's incessantly going about the neighborhood of Gokul, Vrindavan, and then he's coming back inside the house. I see that the child is very fearless. But in spite of his fearlessness, I am becoming more and more afraid of his falling into some danger, Shanka." This again is an instance of conjunction of two opposing elements. The child was very fearless, but at the same time, Yashoda has become fearful of some danger. So, of course, the Harsha emotion is not expressed here in Prabhupada's this. Here, danger is the cause, and Yashoda's feelings are the conjunction of two opposing symptoms. Two opposing symptoms. In other words, Yashoda is feeling both happiness and doubt or growing fear. So, happiness, Harsha, and Shanka. Okay. So, there is that fear emotion which is giving her doubt. When you have fear, now I doubt, something might go wrong. See, that fear is there, then that fear gives rise to Shanka. But she is fearless also. Okay, now two bhavas of Harsha and Vishad from differing sources joining together. Seeing Aveksha, her son, with joyful eyes in front of her, Utfulla Vilochanam Pura Vilasatam, and seeing Drisho, the strong wrestlers as well, Prabalam Api Malla Mandalim, Devaki began to shed both cool and hot tears. Himam Ushnam Chajalam Dadde. So now who will explain uh, which are the two Vyabhicāri bhavs and the two Vyabhicāri bhav causes, from which what causes they are coming? Who will explain that from this verse? Please raise your hands. Who will explain? Hmm. Yeah, please raise your hands. I would like to see. Hemant Kumar Prabhuji, are you there? Hemant Kumar Prabhu? Yes, Bir Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, here two causes are one is Krishna himself seeing Krishna, Mother Devaki, she becomes joyful, but at the same
Mother
time
Devaki
seeing
what?
the
Mother Devaki?
Mother Devaki began to shed cool tears, and seeing the wrestlers,
Okay, now 1 minute. Let's go a little more detail. She's shedding tears.
yes, Prabhu.
Now, this shedding tears is what? Is it a Vyabhichari bhav or what is it?
Shedding tears, it's a Vyabhicāri bhava.
Shedding tears is Vyabhichari bhav.
No, it is Satviki bhava.
No, it is the Satviki bhav. Now, what is the Vyabhichari bhav then here? Vyabhichari bhav is the joy, emotion of joy.
Joyful eyes, yes.
And anubhavas, you see, Vyabhichari bhavs can cause anubhavas also. Please remember that. Anubhavas or Satviki bhavs. Here, the Satviki bhavs. We saw that, causes and effects.
Yes.
So, she's, feeling joy in her heart. The joy is the wave which is rising in her heart. And simultaneously, what is happening is the that emotion of sattva is interacting with the prana elements and it is causing tears, the ashtasattvic vikars. So both can happen. And the hot tears also same. But here, what is the uh, uh, Vyabhichari bhav? Who is the cause for these hot tears?
It's a strong wrestlers.
So the cause, they are coming from two different sources, correct?
Yes.
So the harsha is the bhava and the vishad. See, when you are happy also you can cry, People when they laugh a lot, no, tears come. And people, when they cry also because of lamentation, tears come, right? So there are
Right.
tears of joy and the tears of lamentation, tears of suffering, or because coming from lamentation. So the tears of joy are cool, whereas the tears of suffering are lamentation, vishada are hot, you know. वेपतुष्य शरीर में रोम हर्षश जायते गांडीवम संसृते हस्ता त्वक्च परिदेयते त्वक्च, his skin was burning because his heart was burning. So that's why the hot tears are there. So there are, which other two emotions here? Vyabhichari bhavs, Bir Krish Prabhuji?
Studying, this is Harsha and
Yes,
and the other is no fear,
Vishada.
Vishad.
Harsha and
Harsha
Vishada. And
Harsha
then
Vishad.
the sources are from one from Krishna and one from the restless scene.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to have this clear understanding.
Right.
When
Thank
Devi,
you.
the mother of Krishna, saw her son very jubilant in the presence of the wrestlers in Kamsa's arena, Harsha, jubilant, two kinds of tears were simultaneously gliding down her neck. Sometimes her tears were warm and sometimes they were cold. This is an instance of conjunction of jubilation and lamentation due to different causes of ecstatic love. So, okay, Prabhupada doesn't go into that detail, but it is very clear. It is also seen, avekshate, that many bhavas can join together. Bahunam api bhavanam sandhim sputam, arising from one cause, ekena ja jayamananam, or many causes, anekena hetuna. So not only there can be two bhavas coming from one source or coming from two sources, there can be many bhavas coming from one cause or many causes. Very interesting, right? Let's see. Here is a combination, Atra Sandhi, of Harsha. Harsha is Vyabhichari Bhav, Autsukya, impatience, Garva, pride, Amarsha, indignation, and Anusuya, displeasure, arising from one cause. So this is arising from one cause. Radha being stopped forcibly. Niruddha Hatat, by strong Krishna. Mukundena Balina. So it is coming. What is the cause of emotions which Radha is going to experience? What is the cause? Anyone here who will answer this? Chakrama Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu. I love you explain.
Yes, Priya Mataji. I'm just checking how many of you are attentively hearing.
Over your cause is one only, Krishna.
Yes, it is one Krishna. So let's see what are the emotions she's experiencing. By strong Krishna on the forest of the bank of Yamuna, Kalindi Tatabhuvi internally smiled at him. Anta Smeram. So there is Harsha. He's being, stopped, na? That is Harsha. She gracefully, Taralatare, glanced at him, Drisham Nasyanti Asmin, with red eyes and furrowed brows. Aruna Kutilapanga Shushumana. Her eyes lit up with flickering pupils. Tara Ujjwala Kalam. But she showed contempt for him. Abhivekta Vagyam. May Radha remain glorious. Jayati Vrishabhano Kulo Kulamani. So she is experiencing all these emotions in relation to one cause. Let's say Jiva Goswami. Her bright pupil indicates Autsukya. Her reddened glances with knit eyebrows indicates displeasure, Ansuya. Her internal smile indicates her harsha, joy. Garva is indicated by her contempt, and Amarsha is indicated by her furrowed brows. Prabhupada. Once, when Srimati Radharani was standing on the bank of Yamuna River in the forest of Vrindavan, she was attacked by Krishna, who was stronger than she. Although she externally expressed a disturbed mood from this incident, within herself she was smiling and feeling great satisfaction. Externally, she moved her eyebrows and made a show of rejecting Krishna. In this mood, Radhani looked very beautiful, and Srila Rupa Goswami glorifies her beauty. So these are different emotions. The whole material world uh, is running, or it is orchestrated because of these emotions. These emotions is what binds the male and the female in this material world. And these bhavas, these same spiritual emotions in relation to Krishna are purifying, liberating, and ocean of nectar, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the instance of exhibiting various feelings in ecstatic love, although the cause is only one, that is Krishna. Okay. Many bhavas arising from many causes: lajja, shame; envy, joy; vishada, despair. Sorry. Atra lajja, marsha, harsha, vishadanam santi. On the occasion of festival, Savitri, Radha, wearing a necklace given by Krishna, Parihita Harihara saw Viksha nearby her mother, Nikata Bhuvi, and in front of her, Tatagre, smiling Padma, Tarka Bhak Smera Padma. At a distance, Daradure, she saw Krishna, Harimapi, and her husband Abhimanyu. Swaminam Tatra Chasin. She hung her head in shame on seeing her mother, Mahishi Vinita. Threw crooked glances at Padma in hatred, Vakra. Her face blossomed with joy on seeing Krishna, Praspurna, and become withered on seeing her husband, Mlana Vaktra. So, who will now tell me which are the different emotions from the different causes Radharani is experiencing? Who will explain? Raise your hands. It's very simple, but still, I want the devotees to explain. Who will explain this? Priya Mataji, let's see. Let's take other. Shrishti Mataji, you're there? Not Shriti Mataji. Are you there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am there, but I will not be able to explain.
But you're able to participate in the discussion.
I have missed so many classes because I was out traveling. So now I'm listening, but I'm not so careful.
Yes. It's difficult to. Yeah, Priya Mataji, yes. Yes. Can you explain? I've unmuted you. Haribol. Yes, Mataji. Oh, there's something wrong. Okay, anyone else would like to explain? Anyone else? Veer Krishnaji. What happened suddenly? Something is wrong? Veer Krishnaji, are you able to hear? Okay, looks like there is some technical problem with. Yeah, okay, yes. Haribol. Okay, so here Radha is. Yeah. Yes, Priya Mataji, yes. Haribol.
Yes, so there are some technical, Network issue proved.
I'm not able to hear you clearly.
So now here, Hare Krishna,
Yes, now it is very clear.
there are little network issue both the side.
The network issue. Oh, okay. Fine. Priya Mataji wants to answer, so let us hear her. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, the various bhavas are Lajja, Amarsha, Harsha, Vishad.
No. You'll have to tell each one coming from which cause.
Okay. So, seeing her mother, she is shame, which is Lajja. And Padma is hatred, this is Amarsha.
Mm.
And seeing Krishna, Harsha. And last remaining is Abhimanyu, so Vishad, I guess. I'm not sure about the last.
Seeing Abhimanyu Vishad, no? Withered,
Yeah.
her face became withered seeing her husband. Yes. Okay. One time, being welcomed on the occasion of a festival at the house of Yashoda, Radha wore a necklace given by Krishna. Though it was covered by a clothing, when she bent down, it became visible. Parihita Harihara means Radha wearing a necklace given by Krishna. A version with this phrase is in the accusative case is rejected. Okay, that is regarding something to do with Sanskrit. Another version is Riddhi Dhrita instead of Parihita is also rejected. Here, Amarsha means Asuya, envy or hatred. Note, Padma is a gopi in Chandravali's party. She thus smiled when Radha was in trouble. So Chandravali smiled. Radha therefore showed hostility to her. Sometimes there were great festivals in the house of Nand Maharaj, and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan would assemble in these festivals. During one such festival, Srimati Radharan was wearing a golden necklace given her by Krishna. This was immediately detected by Mother Yashoda as well as Radharani's mother because the necklace was too long for Radharani's neck. At the same time, Radharani could see Krishna nearby as well as her own husband Abhimanyu. So all of these things combined to make Radharani feel very ashamed, and with her face shriveled, she began to look very beautiful. In this case, there is a combination of bashfulness, anger, jubilation, and lamentation. Bashfulness is, mother. Anger is towards Padma, that Vyabhicāri Bhava. Jubilation is seeing Krishna. Lamentation, seeing Abhimanyu. This is the instance of an aggregate of symptoms of ecstatic love. Ata Shabhalyam. Sabhalyatvam tu bhavanam sammardah syat parasparam. When many bhavas conflict with each other, bhavanam sammardah syat parasparam, the state is called sabhalya. So there are many bhavas which are conflicting with each other. All are getting mixed like in a painting. Different colors are like different emotions. So then that is called as sabhalya. This condition arises when there is slight remnants of previous bhavas remain. So there is, you see different emotions are coming. The joy emotion is coming, the envy is coming. But it's not that, joy comes and then it subsides, then the next one comes. So sometimes there can be conflicting emotions which can be experienced. So that is what is called as sabhalya. Okay, let's see. In this example, Atra, there is a combination of Shavalyam of Garva, pride, Vishada, despair, Dhainyam, Mati, consideration, Smriti, Shanka, apprehension, Amarsha, and Trasa. What can that child do? Shakta Kim Nama Kartum Sa Shishur. Yet he has killed all of my friends. Aha me mitram pakshana ana dakshit. Should I then surrender to him? Atisteham tam eva dhrutum ata sharanam kayu kuryor. A warrior can never do that. Eten na virya. I am preparing huge wrestlers to fight him. Am Divya Mallo Goshti. But he has lifted Govardhan with his hand. Vihirata. I should go today to Vraj and attack him. Kuryad adeva gatva Vraj bhuving kadanam ha. But my heart is shaking because of him. Tata kampite dhi. So you can see all these different emotions Kamsa is experiencing. Arey, what can that child do? Then suddenly a different emotion comes. He has killed all my friends. All these, friends means they are all his asuras. Then suddenly emotion comes. Should I surrender to him? You know, out of despair. And then he becomes, no, I'm preparing wrestlers to fight him. But suddenly he sees, oh, he has lifted Govardhan. Then let me go and surrender. You know, uh, sorry, let me go and attack him. But then he's shaking in his heart. So all these different emotions comes up and said, what to me? He has no power. The next moment Kamsa was informed that all his friends had been killed by the boy. Then Kamsa began to think in perplexity, shall I go immediately and surrender to him? But how can a great warrior do this? So all these conflicting emotions, what he is experiencing is called a Shabale. The next moment he thought, why should I be afraid of him? There are still so many wrestlers standing to support me. But the next moment he began to consider this boy is certainly not common because he has lifted Govardhan Hill with his left hand. So what can I do in this connection? Let me go to Vrindavan and inflict pain to all the residents there. But still I cannot go out because my heart is trembling from fear of this boy. This condition of Kamsa's mind reveals the instance of pride, lamentation. What can this boy do? He has killed all my enemies. He's killed all my friends. Lamentation. Then humility. Oh, let me go and surrender. Determination. No, I'll go and attack. There's remembrance, priti, doubtfulness. And then there is anger, there is fear, all these conflicting emotions. How many of you devotees feel that we experience these conflicting emotions in our life before coming to Krishna consciousness, also even in Krishna consciousness? How many of us feel? Raise your hands. Yes. All these conflicting emotions we experience in our day to day, and they are there in our experiences. Even sometimes with respect to material things, or in relation to whether I should go to do my bhajan in Vrindavan. Oh, but still I'm not qualified, to enter Vrindavan. So Rup Goswami in the it's not Rup Goswami, it's Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in the Madhurya Kadambini, when he discusses bhajan kriya, anishtita bhajan kriya, he brings out all this. So viewed vikalpa, vishaya sangara, so all these emotions are experienced. Actually, 8 different symptoms comprise the mental condition of Kamsa. This is another instance of aggregate of symptoms in hopeless ecstatic love. Now, last one, will she Santi. Atyarudasya bhavasya vilaya shanti ruchate. When the bhava which has become prominent, atya aruda, because rise and high, disappears. Vilaya, it is called bhava shanti. Okay. When the children of Raja could not see Krishna with faces withered, they became pale. They began searching for Krishna in the forest. At that time, hearing the soft flute of his sound on a mountain, Shaile, they became filled with joy and with hair standing on end. Pulko ujjvala babu. So, not seeing Krishna, their faces withered. This is the emotion they're experiencing, and they became pale. This is the sattvic vikar which is happening. And then they started searching. So this Vyabhicāri bhav emotion is, making them move everywhere. And then hearing the flute, this Vyabhicāri bhav which has risen in their heart, slowly, comes down. And there is happiness. Now they're experiencing emotion of happiness and the hairs are standing on it. That is the sattvic bhav. Okay, Prabhupada, he says in this connection There is a proverb in Sanskrit which says disappointment gives rise to greatest satisfaction. In other words, when one's sentiments or ambition becomes too great and is not fulfilled until after seemingly hopeless tribulation, that is taken as the greatest satisfaction. Once the cowherd boys in Vrindavan were vainly searching after Krishna for a long time, and for that reason their faces became blackened and their complexions appeared faded. Just then they could hear on the hill a faint vibration of Krishna's flute. Immediately all of them became very much glad, and this is an instance of satisfaction in the midst of disappointment. Disappointment is the Vyabhicāri bhav, and ultimately that disappointment went away. So the bhava shanti happened. Though my words do not have vachi kachana nasti me, variety in meaning or flavor, shabdartha rasa vaichitra, examples of Vyabhicāri bhavs have been presented. Evoktam bhava udarahanamam, to indicate their essential nature as much as possible. Yata kadachit param. Okay, so I will end here. This almost completes the discussion of Vyabhicāri bhav. And then in the next class, I will take up this varieties of mind which affect the Vyabhicāri bhav. Okay, so any questions? Any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Up till now, what we discussed? Any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, so then we'll stop. So tomorrow we will practically conclude this discussion of Vyabhicāri bhav. In the next week, we will start with the actual verse by verse discussion on Stahi bhav. Hare Krishna.